Welcome back, you beautiful souls. And this is a brand new series. This is going to be the first series for my 2K special. The next series should be coming out in the next couple of days. Since I was late on it and I was still working, and I'm still currently going to continue Zenkai Deku, I haven't really had much time to really flesh out um, another storyline that I could use for my 2K special that I had planned to do a 2 series release. Now, these 2 series will continue, but whichever one is more popular will continue with Zenkai Deku. All my previous series, I will eventually get to finishing them up, but I lost a notebook for all my old series besides basically all the series before my hiatus of a month or so. I have to sit down and re-script a lot of pre-scripted episodes that I already had, and I haven't had much of an inspiration to do so. Though a few of them have begun to rewrite and figure out, because I have to go back and rewatch a lot of my old videos to get a grasp of what I was going to do. I mean, I have a general idea of where I want to end a few of them, but quite frankly, with everything that's been going on, I haven't had a lot of thought on a specific series. So that being said, let's get into my new series. What if Deku was ultimate? And this can change. Comment down in the comment section below for a title for this series. But for now, the placeholder for it is What If Deku Was Ultimate? And the title of this episode is Episode 0, A Hero Born of Despair. Let's get into our story. Our story starts after Deku finds out he's quirkless. Everything up until this point in this series has stayed the same, with one exception. Hisashi Midoriya just came up missing one day. Like, in Heroes, governments have no clue where he's at. So essentially, Inko, she's going to have a job, but it's from the company that Hisashi had worked for. His disappearance, a few months pass, and they pay out Inko an insurance policy that they had for their employees. He's deemed to be dead, so Izuku will grow up not knowing his dad. He'll know who his father is from the stories that Inko tells about him. Like, this happens when Izuku is about a year old. So he does have memories of his father, but it's in the recesses of his mind. Just maybe an image here or there, but he doesn't really remember who his father is. So when Izuku comes to school the next day, when he finds out that he's quirkless, he tells everyone, and he begins to get bullied like in canon, but it's a little bit more brutal, because kids are saying, "Oh, your dad left because you're worthless, because you're a Deku, you're worthlessly quirkless," and this does make Izuku upset, and he gets angry by this. And I would say this continues in canon until one day, about, I would say, almost a year after Izuku finds out that he's quirkless. Or no, it's about 6 months to a year after Izuku finds out he's quirkless. Katsuki, he's in the playground, and he's bullying this little girl and telling her that, oh, you have a villainous quirk and all this other stuff. And Izuku kind of hears this and he gets angry and he comes running up to Katsuki and he goes, his fable, Kachan, if you don't stop, why do you have to be such a jerk? If you don't stop, I'm never gonna forgive you. And Izuku, like Katsuki, is like, oh, and what are you gonna do, Deku? You're a quirkless loser. And at that, Katsuki comes in for a punch, and Izuku, like, just flat out has enough, and he just feels something inside of him change, like something wrong, something that he feels is bad, like kind of welling up into him, and he's like, you always pick on me! As he throws a punch, missing Katsuki, but the wind pressure that is created by this punch hits Katsuki, and Katsuki's thrown like meters away, and Izuku is like screaming like as he's walking to Katsuki, and every single time Izuku takes a step, cracks in the ground are formed. And this is when the girl like yells out to him, is like, what are you doing? And Izuku says, this guy, he bullies me all the time, and I can't control it, all of his power. And then, right at that, he hears the girl says, then stop! And Izuku's like realizes his body, he can't control his body. It's not doing what he's telling it to do. And he just sees the girl running away. And like thoughts and stuff begin to like go into his head. A couple of minutes pass and pros show up along with some police and everything, because I would say his buddies had called in saying that a villain has attacked like a kid, and the heroes show up along with police and like medical personnel, because I would say the girl also ran into a pro saying that a kid's quirk had gone haywire and he hurt someone really bad. And the hero has talked to her, and like she's okay, but she says, I'm worried about him. He said he can't control his quirk. And so the heroes let the girl go, and when they get there, the heroes like some of the heroes that didn't know about the boy realized real quickly that it was a kid that did this. And they begin to like kind of question him like with ease, and then another hero shows up and he kind of yells at the other heroes saying that the kid's quirk went haywire, why are you like yelling at him? And he walks up to Izuku and places his hand on the kid, on Deku, and tells him that everything's okay. We need to like get you to the hospital to check everything out. And Izuku's kind of crying. He's like, I didn't mean to. I my quirk, it just manifested. And is Kachan okay? Like just crying. And they are carting Katsuki off in a stretcher and putting him in a thing. And the hero says, yes, he'll be fine, young man, but we still need to get you to a hospital to see what's going on, because from what the young girl that I met earlier said, your quirk went haywire. And Izuku is saddened by this, and he says, yeah. And so Inko is called, and also the hospital that has Katsuki is called as well. And Mitsuki comes in and deals with that whole thing, so does Inko. Like, and the bullying does, like, continue, but it's not as harsh, because Katsuki is a little scared of him, like, is scared of Izuku, and he is weary about pushing Izuku too far because of what had happened, rightfully so, but he calls Izuku a villain. like, and just says, like, a villain like you should leave. And this does get Izuku saddened. And so we cut to about a year before. We cut to about when Izuku is about 10 years old, and he starts having nightmares again, but this time it's different. Izuku has developed a somewhat inhibition about using his quirk, so he permanently keeps it off and kind of keeps to himself. Well, on this night, he starts having a nightmare, and his mom comes running into his room, and she's scared for her child because he's screaming out all these things. She gets close to Izuku, and Izuku is conscious, and he's like, "Mom, my quirk, it's going out of whack. I can't control it." As he, flicks and a wind pressure hits Inko. Inko coughs up some blood, but continues to walk towards her son, getting hit one after another, and she finally grabs her son and says, "Izuku, calm down. You can be a hero, just don't let this turn you into a villain." As she collapses in Izuku's arms and her body just goes limp, Izuku screams out, "No! No! This power! I killed my mom!" As, he yells out, and part of, their house gets, gets partly destroyed, and the surrounding area is destroyed as well. Heroes arrive, and they just see this boy holding a woman just crying, saying, "No, I killed her, I killed my mom. No, this power, it's villainous. Why? Why did I have to be cursed with this power? Why?" And one of the heroes comes up to him, and he's like, "Young man, calm down. What happened?" And he says, I killed my mom." And this shocks the hero that's there, and he's like, "Young man, power's not villainous. You need to learn to control your emotions, kid. It seems like your quirk is related to your emotions." And then he hears, and it's like, "Yeah, okay, but what's going to happen to me?" And then the hero says, "Well, there'll be investigations, but it seems like you don't have control of your quirk, and it went haywire." And then he looks at the kid, and he's like, "Wait, this has happened before, hasn't it?" And Izuku says, "Yeah, I hurt a friend at the time when my quirk manifested. I only manifested my quirk about 4.5 years ago." And this kind of shocks the man. He's like, "Well, don't worry about it, kid. But again, I'm sorry about this, but..." He puts the kid in some cups. And Izuku is frightened by this, and he's taken to a police station, and he's assured that everything's okay, but this is just a formality, young man. So Izuku, he's sitting there just kind of crying, and a therapist is brought in to give him an evaluation. It's deemed that Izuku, yes, he did kill someone, but he wasn't in control of his power. The next, he is sent to a foster home. And several months pass, and this, he gets back to the thing. And in canon, the bullying kind of stops, but he still is called a villain throughout the rest of his preteen years, because it's known that Izuku's power did end up killing someone, and his mom. And Katsuki has pretty much stopped bullying him, but still calls him a villain, like, I don't want to hang out with a villain like you, kind of thing. And this progresses like in canon, and Izuku is hurt by this, but he thinks back to what his mom said, like, don't let this turn you into a villain, become a hero that I know you can be. And this is the only thing that really keeps Izuku all together, because his quirk is dangerous, like, to the point that he thinks only maybe heroes like All Might can stop him if things go wrong. And then he's walking one day, and he sees these guys bullying this girl, calling her, like, villainous. And Izuku comes running up to him and says, why are you guys picking on her? Why are you guys calling her a villain? Just because she may have a villainous quirk doesn't mean anything. And then one of the voices, wait, you're that Deku kid. You're the one that... And he stops with, like, a glare towards him. And he grabs his buddy and is like, we gotta get out of here. This kid's dangerous. And the girl, like, looks at him, and she's like, why did you interfere? I could have handled those chumps myself. And Izuku's like, yeah, well, sorry, I kind of butted in that. It won't happen again. And before he can leave, she's like, wait, I know you. You're that kid that hurt that one boy that one day. And Izuku looks dumbfounded, and he's like, I guess you're gonna call me a villain too. And she's like, no, that's not it. I didn't get a chance to thank you. My quirk's kind of villainous too. If people answer a question that I ask them, I can take over their minds. Okay, full stop here. Many of you kind of guess that, yes, this is a Fem Shinzo. And this story was suggested by one of my viewers that is on Discord, and I will put his name in the description along with the a link to my Discord. So Izuku kind of starts breaking down, and she's like, what's wrong? And Izuku's like, yeah, I hurt more than him. Several years later, I ended up killing my mom with this power. And this shocks the girl, and Izuku's like, yeah, you probably think I'm a villain now. And then she looks down, and she's like, no, I don't think you're a villain. I think you are a hero. You just had a tough draw at life like I did. I was born with a quirk that's considered villainous as well. But you have a quirk that's strong. And Izuku kind of looks at the girl and is like, what do you mean? And she then explains that over the years she's been bullied and or tried conveyed to, like, be a villainess. And she thinks back to the day that he kind of saved her from the bullies. Because I would say Shinzo didn't really have too much of a control of her quirk when she was younger, so she would have to be in a lot of emotional duress. And she says, well, you kind of stopped me from using my quirk in a very mean way. I'm sorry I didn't get to thank you back then, but you're my hero, as she, like, kind of hugs Izuku. And Izuku's taken aback by this and kind of wiggles his way out of it. And he's like, why are you being nice to me? And Then she says, well, I know what it feels like to have a villain quirk, and, well, you're not a villain, Midoriya. And Izuku then says, thank you. Most people, when they find out about my mom, they freak out and call me a villain. In any case, I'll see you around. And they do exchange phone numbers and everything. So we cut to about a year before, a year after, so like on the day of the anime. And Izuku, or no, this is going to happen 6 months before the start of the anime. Like the Sludge Villain attack will start before thing. Izuku on one day on his way home, he is attacked by a sludge villain, and at this point Izuku is so scared of using his quirk that he doesn't use it. Like he's so scared of using it to hurting someone again like he did his mom, that he's kind of built up like mental blocks through the rest of his childhood after he accidentally killed his mom. He understands that his power is extremely dangerous, and he has met up with Shinzo and has talked with her about their quirks and that they both want to be heroes. So Shinzo has started to work out because Izuku explains the faults of her quirk. That, yeah, your quirk has certain conditions, maybe you need to train your body. And this kind of goes two ways. Shinzo kind of encourages Izuku to learn to control his powers so that accidents like with that guy Bakugo, and then she looks down as she says it, and stuff like what happened with your mom doesn't happen again. So Izuku, he's still scared to use his power, but he has learned how to somewhat limit it. He can't really control it too well, so he does get away. But as he does, he kind of passes out. And before he passes out, he just hears, do not fear, for I am here. And All Might, like in canon with the sludge villain, happens, and Izuku latches on to his leg as he's jumping away, and All Might's kind of does the whole inner monologue shit as he lands, and Izuku's thinking, should I tell him, should I ask him? And then All Might deflates, and Izuku's like, wait, who are you? You're not the real All Might. And All Might says, yeah, calm down, kid, I am the real All Might. As he pulls up his shirt, I was hurt several years ago by a villain attack. And Izuku, in canon, what's it, that chainsaw guy? And All Might's like, oh, you really are a fanboy. And Izuku kind of gets embarrassed a little bit by this. And then All Might's like, what was the question you had for me, young man? After explaining everything, and Izuku agrees to keep the secret. And All Might is taken aback because he's, unlike in canon, instead of Izuku asking can he be a hero without a quirk, Izuku asks him, it's like, All Might, I have a very dangerous quirk. I've hurt people in the past. As he looks down, and All Might's like, what's wrong? I accidentally killed my mom when I was younger, and, well, my quirk's really dangerous. I don't have any control over it. And I want to be a hero. So I guess my question is, can I be a hero with such a dangerous quirk? And the look on Izuku's face is so determined that All Might is taken aback by this. And he's like, wow, this kid has went through so much. And Izuku then looks down and starts to walk away. And All Might then says, what's wrong? And Izuku's like, well, you probably think I'm a villain then, since you're all quiet and everything. And All Might then says, no, that's not what... I'm shocked that you killed someone, but that doesn't make you a villain, young man. And All Might brings up, in the next part, I will look up who this hero is. I believe there is a hero that has taken someone's life before. And I'll find out who that hero is. So, spoilers in advance. For the next episode, because it may spoil, I believe, the Vigilantes comics a little bit, because I think that's who it is. But that being said, let's get back to our story. And Izuku begins to break down a little bit, and then All Might kind of picks him up a little bit and says, young man, you can definitely be a hero. From what you've said, you've had a cruddy life. You should use that pain, those emotions that you feel, as a drive to become a hero, to learn to control your quirk. You shouldn't, yes, you did something extremely bad, but as he looks off into the distance, and Izuku's like, what is it? All Might. And he thinks back to Nana, and he's like, something my mentor told me once. It doesn't matter what kind of quirk you have. What makes you a villain or not is how you use it. Yes, you killed someone that was very close to you, but as he looks at Izuku, if you learn to control your power, you'll become a fine hero indeed. You have remorse, which, he says, if you didn't have remorse about taking your mother's life, then you would be a villain. But the fact that you feel remorse and you feel ashamed about it shows that you have the spirit of a hero. With that, they kind of part their ways, and as they do, they are away from each other. All Might hears an explosion, and he looks down. He notices that the sludge villain is gone, and he's like, shit, I've used my time limit. So he makes his way, and Izuku's happy. For the first time in his life, someone besides Shinzo, well, Shinzo's more of an acquaintance, but besides his mom, someone has told him that he can become a hero with the power, with the villain quirk that he has. And he hears the explosion too, so he kind of makes his way there, because in this, Izuku is still a hero fanboy. And I would say he's more fanatical about it. And he would recognize the hero's name. And so this would begin Izuku, later on, looking more into this specific hero. So he makes his way to the thing, and he notices, it's like, wait, that's the sludge villain. No, he got away because I'm the cause of this. And then when he hears, the hero's talking, it's like, he's got a hostage. It's a kid. We can't do anything. Our quirks aren't suited for this. And then he begins to think. He's like, no, All Might, he dropped it because of me. Another person's gonna die because of me. No. And then he catches eyes with Katsuki, and he's like, no, it's Kachan. No. And before he can think about it, he's already moving, and people just feel this rush of wind, and they try to stop him. And they just hear him, it's like, no one else is gonna die because of me. No one else will die because of me. As they just feel this gust of wind, and they just see Izuku reach in and grab Katsuki, throwing him kind of straining him to like the heroes as he throws a punch, kind of doing what All Might did in canon, creating a wind funnel that splatters the villain all over the place and causes the weather to change. Everyone is just standing there stunned as All Might comes in as well in his buff form, and he's thinking, it's like, as he catches Deku as he begins to fall. And he's like, this kid, he's been through so much, and with that, Izuku comes to on a building top, and All Might is standing there, and he's like, I guess I'm in trouble again, right? And All Might then says, young men, we need to talk. And Izuku explains everything in great detail after a couple of hours. And then All Might reveals to him about One For All. Because he can understand that this kid, he truly wants to be a hero, but he's scared of his power. And he explains to Izuku that he had to learn to control his quirk. Well, he doesn't explain to Izuku One For All in detail. He just says that he had trouble controlling his quirk at the start, even though he could use it in its entirety at the start, but it took him time to learn how to expend the energy and the power of the quirk so that he doesn't an accident like his mom didn't. And All Might's beginning to think he's mad. Like he's extremely mad at this, that the government could hide something like this. He heard reports of like a kid's quirk going haywire, or like a building being destroyed by another kid's quirk, and he puts two and two together that this was the same kid, so he's mad. And then now we cut back to the All For One attack when All Might's leaving the hospital. All Might is reminded by the last line that he kind of heard from his old sidekick, Sir Nighteye. As All Might's beginning to leave, Sir Nighteye uses his quirk one more time, and then he sees All Might meeting Izuku, and how that changes All Might's future. All Might no longer dies, but he retires. He still will be like a hero, but All Might is forced into it. It seems like All Might is forced into a early retirement, but out of will. And the line that he remembers Sir Nighteye telling him, he's like, All Might, if you're going to do this, you're going to meet someone someday, and you're going to need to help this boy. You're going to need to help this kid. And with that, we cut back to the present. And All Might realizes that this is the kid his old sidekick once told him about. And he then asks Izuku, he's like, do you truly want to be a hero? And Izuku, through tears, he's like, yes, I want to be a hero more than anything. Matter of fact, I want to be a hero just like you, All Might. I want to be a hero that makes people feel safe. I don't want to be looked at like a villain. I want to be a hero that saves people with a smile on his face, but I don't know what I can do with this quirk. This quirk is so dangerous. I even hurt Kachan back there a little bit. And All Might just kind of walks over to the kid and embraces him and hugs him and is like, young Midoriya, you want to go to UA, I'm assuming. I'm going to, well, over the next, let's see, I said this happened 6 months before the start of the anime, so that would be 12, 14, that would be, there's the 10-month training arc, 2 months from the 6 months to make it a year. So this would be 1 year and 4 months before the entrance exam. He begins to train Izuku. So about 4 months later, All Might tells Izuku that he wants to pass his own quirk down and explains the origins of his quirk. And with Izuku being somewhat friends with this girl, Shinzo, he brings this up to All Might's attention. He's like, Yagi-sensei, not to be rude, but I don't think I should get your quirk. There should be someone out there, just in case my quirk goes haywire or something, that can stop me. And then All Might's taken aback by this, and he's like, what do you mean by that? And Izuku then explains his friendship with this girl Shinzo. And All Might's kind of shocked by this, because Izuku's reasoning for taking the quirk is very sound. There should be someone out there that could actually stop him, just in case. And he says, my friend Shinzo, she doesn't really have a quirk geared towards combat, but she is kind of strong, and her quirk's mind control. She can take over somebody's mind if they answer a question she asks. But she wants to be a hero, and I think her quirk with yours, if I ever go out of control again, she would definitely be the one to be able to stop me, and also vice versa, actually. So, with that, you beautiful souls, I'm going to end this part here. There will be a part 0B to this. And let me know what you think down below in the comments as far as a title for this series. But for now, the title, a placeholder title, will be "What If Deku Was Ultimate?" Asterisks. So, that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you beautiful souls in the next video!